Discretion advised.
Where's my... We're gonna need it. Roger that. Put your hand...
Inquiry news! Hot, fresh news! Dig in!
So this is Fukushima 4, and so we're going to be talking about that today. So stay tuned and watch what happens. Let me know if you think this building's gutted or not. I think so. What do you think?
Hi, subscribe. Welcome to my thing. And a little nice dragon here I got for you. Look at that. I'm working hard for you. Subscribe to my channel. And sometimes when you do subscribe to my channel, it gets deleted somehow on your end. I don't know why. So always check the resubscribe button so you can subscribe to my channel. And the reason why I'm subscribing is so that I can get my static on YouTube. I have to have 100 subscribers. So subscribe so I can get over 100 subscribers. So that we can have that for that. So subscribe. Also hit the bell so that so you can get more content when I do make a video. I don't make a whole lot, so when I make some, you can get alerted to it. And subscribe to my channel for that. I appreciate it. And thanks for subscribing. And also make some positive comments down below.
Fukushima 4. Hi, this is Mark. Right here we got the reactor. And the reactor goes inside of this big round light bulb, upside down light bulb. And you see the reactor there. Goes into that light bulb. And the top of the light bulb you see the yellow area. And that yellow area is like a dome thing that goes over the top of it. And on the two sides, you're going to see, or on the one side, is the water reservoir where they put material that's hot. And I believe on the left side, in a minute here, you'll see an area where it's blue. And I believe that's where they put material that's cold. Or it could be they put both cold and hot on the right. And I'm not sure. There's some disputation on that, so I'm not sure which, because there's so many misinformation out there on exactly how it works. I'm not sure, but this is the basic thing that they claim works. So if you see the blue water over the yellow area, the dome thing, and then there's a bridge between the yellow area and the yellow thing that is a cap that goes over there. That's what that yellow represents, is a cap. And then there's a bridge that goes between that water area to the other water area to the right. The other water area to the left doesn't have a bridge, and they just pick up that material out of the water and bring it over into the reactor when they refuel it. And that stuff doesn't need to really be in the water, really. But that's how they store it. They store it in the water because it's new fuel. And so, from what I understand, is they take it out of that and then they put it into the reactor. When it gets done being used, they put it into the right pond. And there may be some other ponds I'm unaware of in these reactors. Would be surprised. And down at the very bottom you see there's some water down in the bottom, and that's underground. There's some cement there that's underground to protect it, because if it gets radiated, then it's hot water down there, radiated water. So keep this in mind how this is working now. So you got a cap with water above it, and then there's an entranceway between the pond on the right, where they bring out the rods and they bring them through there. This is a cap that goes on to the unit It's inside there. Below that yellow cap is another cap like this. And so this one goes over is the reactor cap, they call it. So it goes over the reactor. Okay, and so there's two caps. There's the yellow cap, and then there's this cap. This goes over the reactor inside there, then the yellow cap goes over the whole thing, and that's kind of how it works. So they have to take off the yellow cap first, that's underwater, then they pull this thing out that's underwater, and see the round circle right there? You can see the bridge, what they call the bridge right there, where it comes through the bridge, and they put the rods down there, and these rods that you see down in the bottom down there, little square things, you can hardly see them. Those are the visible material that's been used in the reactor that's cooling down. And so and you can't see the cap because it's down in there, and they pulled it, I'm not sure. But anyways, it's down in there. There's two caps down in there they pull out, and one goes on top of this thing, but it's supposed to be underwater. All of it's underwater. And that's very important to recognize. And then all the stuff is done underwater. When they pull out, the rods are underwater, they bring it over. And then there's another pond you don't see in this picture. This probably is not the pond that's used in the Fukushima reactor. I think this is a different pond for a different reactor, but it just showed the idea of the round circle thing where you have a bridge in between them, and it showed some of the visible material down there that they can pull up and transfer between the two through the bridge. And then it just sits down in there for a long time. I don't remember how many years, but it's a long time that it sits down there because it's so hot. Yes, years, not days. and the pond's huge. It goes a lot bigger than this. And there may be some other ponds that they also have, because there's tons and tons of this stuff that it accumulates over time. So just keep that in mind. And remember, the cap is underwater too. Two caps are underwater as well. So here, look at that. The cap's underwater. And so you see the cap's underwater, and there's no pools next to it. And you can see that there's all this damage to the side of reactor 4 underneath it. Up above it's where the pool would be. Pools would be actually higher up. They'd either be at the top of the reactor or whatever, but there's the donut, I believe. That round yellow thing could be the top of the reactor. Here's what looks like a pool, but I'm not sure if this is the pool for the reactor or the storage pool. This might be a different kind of storage pool lower down, because this is like in the middle of the building. So I'm not sure if that's a pool or a service elevator. I believe it's a service elevator right here. And that has nothing to do with the ponds. And the other donut over there, I'm not sure what that is. I'm scratching my head, because normally this is higher up, 2 stories higher, that the reactor is 2 stories higher up with that yellow cap on it, underwater with 2 pools next to it. And as you can see, there are no pools of water. There are no rods or anything here to see. You do see this yellow thing sticking out there that's supposed to be the cap that goes over goes over the reactor. But I guess here's a picture of it up close. This is a different picture of reactor 4 up close. Look at that. That's the cap. That's supposed to be underwater. And right next to it's supposed to be connected to it is supposed to be a swimming pool. Do you see a swimming pool there? Do you see any rods sticking out anywhere in a pool of water? I don't see any. Do you see? And you can see down there where it is sitting on top of the concrete there. You see holes in the concrete. That's supposed to be all underwater. And this cap is supposed to be underwater. And that concrete's supposed to be underwater. There's supposed to be a swimming pool right next to this right here with those rods in it, right? So I want you to keep all this in mind when you hear this in a few minutes when we talk about it a little further. I have a guy we're going to interview here in a minute. Well, he's already in an interview, and we're just going to listen to him. And then here's a zoom out of it. You can see the holes in that brick there. That's part of the casing for the reactor, and the reactor's inside there, down there, and you can see if there was any water, it would just leak out. Holy cow! And so, where are all the rods? Where's all the feasible material? It certainly is not in this reactor 4. So you can see where the yellow cap is. You can see there's supposed to be water above it. There's supposed to be water next to it. And maybe water to the left. Definitely water to the right. Definitely water above it. And if not, water around it. And there's none there, as you can see in the picture I just showed you. None. No water. So where did all the rods go? Where did all the used rods? Where did all the rods that are supposed to refuel the reactor go? They're not there. You can't recover those rods. They're gone. They blew up in an explosion, I guess. Whoa. Okay. See? Do you see a pool there? Do you see some pools of water with rods in it being cooled down? I don't see any. Do you see any? I hate to go over it again. So, this is the cap that's supposed to be underwater. And then there's supposed to be a bridge to a pool full of these square, long rods that are used in a nuclear with uranium in them, with cladding. And I'll show you that later. But right now, I just wanted to, I'll show you the pool later, what it looks like. The actual, water with the rods in it. You saw that a picture already, but I'll show you a close-up picture of what they really look like, even up close, so you can see. Excuse me. But there's no pool connected to this. All this would be underwater. There'd be concrete all the way around it. You can see part of the concrete on the left side there. Part of it's gone. There's some kind of metal structure around it.
The accident, it was of course the emergency condition. But right now, gradually became the decommissioning stage, more stable decommissioning stage. And that's that, as I mentioned, the successful completion of the dismantle of the spent fuel from the Unit 4. It's about 1533 bundle, and we carefully manipulate the machine and successfully remove those fuel to the ground located pool.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know what the guy's talking about. Secondly, you can see the air. You see a hole through the wall right there. You can see sky coming through the building. There's no roof on the top of this thing. In a minute, I'll show you that. And this guy, if you look at his video, there's a roof, there's walls, there's a pool, there's the cement's not cracked, there's no damage to it of any kind from the earthquake. There's no damage from it, from an explosion. And I don't think it was a hydrogen explosion. I think it was a bomb. But no explosion. And somehow he found a pool in this mess that we can't seem to find. Do you see a pool there? You see anything there? I don't see a pool there, but he found a pool. And a roof. Here's reactor 4 before they tore the roof off it. The building down. There's the hole in the side of reactor 4. This is before they tore the walls down
to that bottom floor just above the hole. And where that hole is where the pool of water is supposed to be. The imaginary pool of water. And this side here, it's all the way down, blowing all the way down to almost to the ground level. Pretty close. On the other side, it is to ground level. And then, then I do know they put supposedly a building over the top of it, which I'll have to get a hold of. I haven't got that picture yet, but we're going to get that hopefully in this video. We'll see. And what I mean by that pool of water is above it, supposedly. But the pool of water is really supposed to be up 3/4 because it's supposed to be the top of the building. Pool of water is supposed to be the top of the building, and then that's where your pool of water is. That's where the cap is. That's where everything is at the top of the building, not in the middle of the building or below it. So it's just crazy. Here's the crane. You can see the green thing there in this photo. This is still reactor 4. You can kind of see the 4 up in the upper left corner. Both sides there, you can barely see a 4 there because it blew up. But you can see the green thing sitting there. That's the thing that helps take stuff out of the pool of water, supposedly, I guess. Or it's an elevator. But that should be on the second floor, 1 floor up. And if you notice, there's no floor there. It's gone. So it fell from the top floor down to that floor, I believe. And you can see there's no floor above it. So that thing should be up 1 floor up. And instead of where it is. And there should have been a pool of water right there where it was supposed to be. I'm pretty sure. And if it is down here, then that's a different pool of water then that it was supposed to be on top of. And you can see there's a hole through the wall there. And right where that hole is where supposedly a pool of water is. And you can see now.
This is what TEPCO wants us to see, the heart of the decommissioning work taking place here in Reactor 4.
So here's this guy saying he's in Reactor 4. And if you look behind him, there's like a roof and a wall. If you look at Reactor 4 over here, there's no roof. Because the yellow thing there is the top of the reactor. So how can it be looking at the fuel pool, which is supposed to be next to that donut thing, which you can see there's no fuel pool next to the donut thing. It's not underwater, which is the top of the reactor. That's what that donut yellow thing is. There's supposed to be a fuel pool next to that, underwater, both of those underwater. Supposed to be higher, too. It's supposed to be 2 stories higher. And it's supposed to be underwater. And then you're supposed to pick up the fuel and go into the reactor. So he's not near the reactor, I guess. Where the heck is he? And he has the building is has a roof on it. This is a roof on it. And you can see down the bottom of this building is gutted. It's gutted. The building's gutted. There's nothing there. Hello, McFly. Why did they make a video like this? Why would they even try to attempt to make something silly like this to show you that the building is, I have a roof over my head and there's a full fuel pool here and it's really Reactor 4. And it's not. It can't be Reactor 4. There's no roof. There's no roof. There's a floor there, but you can see it's a metal roof in his video. And it's concrete. It's concrete where the tractor is. If you look where the tractor is sitting, that's a concrete floor. So it couldn't be metal. And then if you look at the video real carefully, it's where he's at, it's metal. Unbelievable. So it can't be underneath the tractor, down in the bottom part of the building, underneath all this stuff, in some fuel pool. So because it's concrete above him. So anyways, it's a metal building of some type. And the fuel pools are on the top of the building. They're not in the bottom of the building. That I know for sure. Down the bottom there is no fuel pools. None. Zip. Now they would be right here where the tractor maybe. They could have some additional fuel pools. but there's none there. You can see there's none there. And if they're there, they'd be leaking radiation like crazy. You wouldn't be able to be on that building. There's no way you could be on the building because the fuel pools would kill you because they have no water or what. They'd be leaking radiation out of those pools. You wouldn't be able to be on that tractor at all. So this is like crazy. So where's the metal roof that these guys are in? Where's the fuel pool? And if you look down on the floor, you notice in the videos they keep it real close to his face. They keep it close to the people in the room. They don't let you see anything very much. The video is very narrow. They do that on purpose because they don't want you to know where they are. They're probably in reactor 6 or reactor 5. They're probably in that reactor. That's where I think they are. And then they show you the fuel pool. He thinks he might be in reactor 4. It's very possible they say, oh, we got to blindfold you. We can't let you see where you're going or something. Who knows? And they end up in reactor 6. And so he says reactor 4, for top secret, it's top secret. We got to blindfold you. And then they took him into reactor 6. He thinks it's 4, maybe, possibly. I doubt it. I think he knows exactly where he at because the camera, narrows in on him, narrows in on the people. They don't go over to the fuel pool and look down in it and show you it. They don't show you much of anything. They try to keep it very narrow. And so that tells me deception. So anyway, that's a joke.
Really fragile, and it's got a huge cooling pool on top with all its fuel rods, but they have been removing them. And it's been a very delicate procedure. They've removed almost all. So if that collapsed now, I think it would probably be okay.
Here's the top of the building, the roof, before they tore it down. What was left of the roof, they tore it down. And do you see a roof on top of there? They're on top of the roof, and it's a real delicate thing getting the rods out of there. Yeah, I bet it is difficult. There isn't any there. Excuse me. And so yeah, here's the top of the building, and then I already showed you the pictures of the rods that they have to take out of there, which are melted. Remember, the rods melted down, went inside there, and the other rods that are in the cooling pools, which are not there because I showed you the top, the yellow top, in there. And next to it's supposed to be a pool, and the pool's not there. In fact, there's no pools that we can see anywhere, except for one area where there's what looks like a service elevator, which might be a pool, but it's not on the top floor. Remember, she even said the pools are on the top floor, and then they tore the top floors out, and they have that tractor there. So where the hell is all the stuff?
4 plants were destroyed in the earthquake and in the tsunami. The 4th one has been so badly damaged that the fear is there's another earthquake of a 7 or above that building will go, and then all hell breaks loose. I have seen a paper which says that if, in fact, the 4th plant goes under an earthquake and those rods are exposed, it's bye-bye Japan, and everybody on the west coast of North America should evacuate.
So this is really why we've been brought here. Where I'm standing is on top of what used to be reactor building number 4. The whole of this building was blown apart by...
We are here inside reactor 4 at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant that was severely crippled during the earthquake and tsunami of 2011.
Yeah, here's reactor 4 building. You can see how it's torn apart. There's the roof, the top of the roof, number 4. Here's the whole wall. Here's the pump station that goes up to throw the water in there. You can see how the roof is all tore apart, all blown apart in the front there. Here's the back part with the rubble laying on the ground. And then here you can see again more of the building destroyed. And then here you can see the yellow top of the container that was supposed to have a pool of water over it, and then they're supposed to have a pool of water in front of it, pool of water on the side of it,
and and the green things are supposed to be above it, and they're supposed to have another crane above that to lift that big top thing off and lift the reactor out of it. But of course, it's not there. The crane is all down, and it's supposed to be on another floor up one. Both those two things, the green and the yellow, supposed to be up one floor up, which is not there anymore. Then you have the unit there, the green thing. You can see the green thing there, and that would have been a floor up too as well, where the pool is. And then you have the big hole inside the wall, and if there would have been fuel pool underneath it, that green thing, it's all gutted out. So there's no fuel pool basically. So there's no fuel pool. There's no way. Now think about this for a second. You have a big massive earthquake. You have a big explosion, tears the building all to pieces, but it doesn't affect the swimming pool? Come on. Swimming pools are some of the most, things that are temperamental. And any kind of earthquake, puts cracks in the pool and they can leak. And I know because my friend had a swimming pool and he had a crack in his swimming pool, and from seismic activity and from non-seismic activity. They were doing some work around his house. Some big trucks were doing some stuff, and they cracked his pool just from moving earth stuff. So and here's the building here. Look at that. I mean, come on. The building's demolished. You can see it here. Look, there's a tractor inside there. There's no way that there is any fuel pools. Here's the inside. Look at that. Come on, folks. Who are you fooling? Those fuel pools were all destroyed and blown up, in my view. What do you think? Let me know. Comment below. So my question is why Japan is perpetrating a fraud, or why would they say they have all this contaminated uranium visible material? Why would they say they still have it when it blew up? It went up in the air and in the ocean or wherever else it went on land. I don't know where it went. It exploded. Are they trying to lie and say they have it and say they're going to bury it, but really they don't have it, or they do have it laying on the ground? They picked it up or storing it so they can make a bomb, atom bomb out of it. Are they? It's an aghast as to why they would want to make elaborate lie like this. Why would they want to go out and make up a story? Maybe they're afraid all the people in Japan would split. And then California, maybe they're afraid they get sued by California and Hawaii, and everybody else would sue the crap out of them for polluting the ocean and polluting California and all that. Who knows? Because of all the catastrophe. They don't have any money to cover all that kind of damage. No way. So I don't know. It's a very strange thing why they would false and lie and make up and say things like this if it's not true. I mean, look at that thing. Look at the destruction. And a swimming pool would survive that. Even if it's super highly, excuse me. Even if it was super duper made, there's no way it would survive such an explosion. No way. I just and the cladding and stuff is just aluminum. It's just aluminum cladding. It's like an aluminum airplane. It's not made of steel. The aluminum cladding around the uranium's just aluminum cans, guys. And aluminum cans are going to withstand an explosion like that in water with all the debris coming down on the aluminum? I doubt it. No way. Feed that to your mother or something, or your wife. There's no way that's going to. But I just don't understand why they would make up the falsehood. Why would they go to this extent of lying and just making up stuff like this? And then grow food nearby, trying to sell food too. That's the whole thing. How you don't get. They know it's all polluted, super bad, but then they sell food to people that they try to grow near it. They wear masks and suits, growing the food, cutting the food, and then bag it and then say, "Oh, it's okay." Eat it.
We wore masks. Okay, I know. I promised you the pool. What it looks like down under the water. There you go. That's what where they would store the cladding, the square little boxes. Inside those square little boxes would be these little things with hooks on them that would go inside there. Notice they're empty. This is in one of the reactors, by the way. So that's supposedly survived. But in there would be a little hook thing that would have a square box that you pull it out and that has the uranium in their core. But you notice they're all empty. Right. So, and this is a pool with a nice, beautiful green water that will kill you if you drink it. This guy shouldn't even be standing where he is, but anyway. Notice there's no cracks around the pool anywhere. No exploding, no black stuff from it exploding. No debris down in the water at all. You think the whole building collapsed on it and there's no debris in the water. Crystal clear, nothing floating in it. Yeah, right, my ass. This is probably Unit 5 or 6, I bet you.